Welcome to the beautiful, historic and vibrant city of Venice.
Hello everyone.
Eliza, dressed up as always, Vitalik. This is our big and only release from an incredible place. This is truly beautiful and romantic Venice. Pour yourself some tea and grab some treats. Enjoy a little bit of pleasant romantic viewing. Welcome to Venice. We arrived here by train. Now we need to get to the hotel. We traveled here for 3 hours from the city of Ravenna. That's where our cruise ended. After the cruise, we decided to stop by Venice for 4 days. It's as if the picture has come to life. This is our first time here with Eliza. As soon as you get off the train, you end up here. It feels like I've seen this before. I have the impression that a movie is being filmed here. Incredible. Guys, how cool. Look, Venice. These are my first live emotions. I'm here for the first time. Wow, so many people, so many different boats and little vessels. But we decided to walk to our hotel after all. It's only a kilometer to walk, just a kilometer through Venice with suitcases. It's going to be hell. Because we could have taken that little boat and it would have taken us directly to our apartment. Because we didn't book a hotel, but rented an apartment. In fact, this is how most people move around the city. They check in, check out, all with their little suitcases. Our suitcase is an American Tourister. I scribbled on it and loosened it up. Guys, not everyone can handle that. We crossed 4 bridges. We have suitcases weighing 40 kilograms each. You drag them over the bridges. Extremely sweaty check-in. Eliza is writing to the landlord. We are checking into the apartment. We made it. Everything is fine. We left our suitcases hiding from the sun. Well, of course, it's madness. I think we broke all the wheels on the suitcase. Welcome to our apartment, but first let's open the fridge and there's an Aperol Spritz inside. Oh, yes. Well, for Italy, for the beautiful, historic and culturally significant city of Venice. Don't fall off the chair right away, guys. An apartment like this costs $300 for one night. It is 2-story. That is, it is a huge living room. There is a long table where we just toasted to a wonderful journey through Italy. Over there is the main entrance. And here is the television. It's also amazing. It must be an amazing sight. When we booked the apartment, it was not under scaffolding. It was just standing there. A beautiful historic building. Here below are the canals, the little boats are moored. In general, Venice. This is Venice, just as you imagine it, just as I imagined it. This is the true Venice. Oops! Let's move on. In the guest shower stall area, which includes the guest sink, mirror, and guest toilet with bidet. Look at how unusual this bathroom is. The kitchen is modern, new, and everything is fully equipped here. There's a little spirit, a refrigerator where the Aperol was standing. Everything is available. An electric stove, a microwave, there are glasses, cups, spoons, everything is there. There's even a coffee machine and a kettle. Notice how high the ceiling is. I mean, it's no less than 10 meters, guys. The huge chandelier is indeed 10 meters tall, and here, of course, you can go up like this. We rush quickly and hurriedly upstairs to the second floor. Here is the cozy bedroom, with a soft, comfortable little bed and neatly folded towels prepared. Overall, yes, like in a hotel. I mean, for $300, of course, the guys made an effort. On this floor, there is an additional shower. The toilet is exactly the same. The bidet is exactly the same. And so is the sink and mirror. The apartment is luxurious, but there are 2 huge downsides. The first is the price. In other words, $300 is one of the most budget-friendly options when considering the price-quality ratio. So if you come here, the prices are really outrageous. The second downside is the box. I don't know if it's true or not, or if our landlord deceived us. He says that here in Venice, you see, we don't have a dedicated cable, which is why our speed is so low. 0.1 megabits. You are just 0.1 megabits. Guys, what kind of speed is that? People in the comments are saying, guys, tell the whole truth about Venice. It is very beautiful there, but many people keep certain things to themselves. Well, I've already told you at least 2 points. That's not all. Bulchak has charged us. And in the end, when he is leaving, guys, you owe us 32 euros. Isn't $300 enough? Do you still want 32 euros from us? This amount is generally charged at 4 euros per person per day. So, there are 2 of us, and we are here for 4 days. Accordingly, that makes 32 euros. I was just cursing. Out of your minds. Lost decency. I came to show you around and you are skinning me alive. Here it is, truly Venice. Now let's get back to the streets. We will stroll around. Venice has a total of 6 districts. We live in the very most remote area. It is called Cannaregio neighborhood. And it was love at first sight. Remember the first shot when we got off the train. And many people, crowds of tourists, here in this little area. Idyllic, quiet and peaceful, with empty canals. Here no one rushes, and even if they do, it's with a very long break. Overall, it's very nice, cozy, quiet and peaceful. Without noise, without fuss, without hustle. Just the perfect neighborhood. This neighborhood is my inner state of soul. I simply adored such neighborhoods. Venice is located on 118 islands in the Adriatic Sea.
Life is bustling on each of these islands. The restaurants are filled with vacationers. Tourists from different countries stroll along the elegant streets. And sometimes it feels like you are in a metropolis. You forget that all of this is built on small islands and surrounded by water.
I used to think it was just a small town, somewhere out there surrounded by the sea. But the situation is much more complex here. And to stroll around all these islands, you can first take advantage of these bridges, of which there are a huge number. And you can also use the boats that travel through these canals in this way. And on these boats you can travel from one island to another and spend a lot of time here. I would certainly like to stroll across all the bridges in Venice, but it seems to me that it is difficult to do so because there are 423 of them. I don't absolutely envy that guy with the card at all because he's really a postman. And thus he delivers mail and packages all over Venice throughout the entire beautiful city.
There are several ways to ride along the canal. We start with the most budget-friendly option. These are the traghetto boats. Essentially, it's a gondola that costs €2 per person. And she will take us over there just to that shore very quickly, in 30 seconds. But it's only €2. Yo. We are starting our adventures in Venice. And the gondola, by the way, is real. 2 gondoliers, on the right and left. Cool.
This is completely central. We are demonstrating how it all happens, so that you can really feel as if you are in this boat. Many people in the comments write, guys, when I watch your episodes, it feels like I'm traveling with you through different countries and cities. And this is actually my goal, not just to have some kind of overview on our YouTube channel, but for you to truly enjoy it as if you were riding along with us. The trip lasted less than a minute. That's it. We are already on the other shore.
Then we took a gondola ride, check that off the list.
But it really saves a lot of time, I'll tell you, because we started over there, and to get here, you have to go all the way around, crawl over that bridge, and only then will you end up here. Actually, the most budget-friendly way to get around the city is to be born a seagull. Venice is the only city in the world where all public transport is water-based. This, for example, is a vaporetto, a large boat that serves as a substitute for a regular bus. It can be used for traveling both around Venice itself and to other islands in the lagoon. It operates on special routes and has many stops. You can purchase tickets for unlimited travel, valid 1 day, 2 to 3 days, or even 7 days. A private taxi is likely the most expensive transport, costing from €30 per person and can accommodate up to 8 people. And of course, gondolas. The price is fixed throughout the city at €80 for 30 minutes during the day and €100 for 30 minutes in the evening. Well, it's not hard to guess that because the city is completely surrounded by water, the delivery of everything that exists happens only by boats on the water. There is even a special little boat that is designed with a crane to specifically collect garbage from the shore and take it out of the city efficiently.
In the city, you can walk endlessly. There are many little streets. But when you are in Venice for the first time, you follow a pre-planned route and explore, and visit the most interesting places. And here is one of them, the truly iconic and remarkable landmark of Venice, the Rialto Bridge. Wow.
I barely managed to film it. Look, that ambulance, the little yellow ambulance, is drifting into the alley.
The Rialto Bridge is the first and oldest bridge across the Grand Canal. It is one of the most beautiful structures in the City of Water. Moreover, the bridge has a rich history. The first crossing at this location was built in the 12th century, and it was a floating bridge. It was later replaced by a wooden one, and then by a stone bridge. Importantly, none of the structures lasted long. However, at the end of the 16th century, a reliable structure was built, which is now photographed by all guests in Venice.
This structure is unlikely to fall. It seems rather narrow from this side, and here is where this bridge begins. It continues from here. This is a very wide bridge. They have also integrated shops on this side and shops on that side. And in these stores, there are masks of indescribable beauty. I am seeing something like this for the first time in my life. I want to buy them all. I shouldn't have left my wife alone. I just stepped away from the bridge to take a picture. Look, 65 euros have already flown away. A person bought an amazing hat for themselves. They lowered their head down, like feathers. The child is happy. The cowboy is happy. Thank you. Bye-bye. There are so many people here, and it must be quite difficult to find a spot to take a photo, although I see one little place. You get up and enjoy Venice, the canals. The atmosphere is amazing. In this shot, you can see all of Venice. Here is Venice, right here on your screen in one frame. On the other side, the bridge certainly looks more interesting because you can't see its full scale from the corner, but from here, under the wooden pier, you can see the little boats racing and so many people. Eliza in a new hat wants to take a photo, but not in the city, rather in a fairy tale. And we are waiting, yes, to take the picture faster. Let's go. I think that the cost of our apartment is reasonable, considering that we live almost in the center, because there's the bridge, and imagine living right here. I think it's at least 700 euros for one night. By the way, about the accommodation, I'm already getting messages saying, guys, you could have lived more budget-friendly. We made this choice ourselves because we are probably here only once in our lives. We might never come back again, and we wanted to stay with a view of the canals. We actually paid this money by hand. We know that it would have been possible to live quite cheaply outside of Venice.
You can live behind Venice, behind the bridge, and come here easily. You can do whatever you want, but living in Venice and living on the islands, on other islands, is not the same. I wanted to live in Venice and have a view of the canal, and finding accommodation with a view of the canal, that's a task with a star. And an apartment too. It should be decent, not some grandmother's shack approximately 3 by 7 for 200 euros.
I believe we have a luxurious apartment, and in about 5 years we won't even remember how much we spent, but we will have some really amazing memories of Venice. Let's move on. Surprisingly, I still haven't grown tired of enjoying this entire atmosphere. Indeed, truly. I get bored very quickly, but this city indeed requires effort to become boring. Here is a little alley. And this is really an alley, right? I mean, for us in our imagination, an alley is a street, but this alley is just a water one. By the way, we are currently walking along the Grand Canal. It is the largest and most beautiful canal in the city. You could say it is its central avenue, which is 4 kilometers long, and it seems to wrap around the entire city. And now you are looking at this aerial shot and wondering where it came from. And this is me flying right from our room, launching the drone at my own risk, because here, as far as I understand, flying is not allowed. But thanks to my risk, you are now indeed truly enjoying aerial shots of this beautiful city. It is always very bustling along the Grand Canal. Everyone is rushing somewhere. These are tourists taking photos of something. Step aside, it's my turn. To avoid the hustle and bustle, you move away from the Grand Canal in a direction perpendicular to it, and here there is silence and tranquility.
And the girl from Peru is walking through streets.
But the girl from Peru is not just here for no reason. She really wants to go to Peru. She has never been there, and very soon she will become the girl from Peru.
The girl definitely wants to really go to Peru.
We are almost at our next location, which is just around the corner. And I want to show you another little bridge that is quite charming and picturesque. Because only in this format can we fully convey this atmosphere to you through the screen. Here, the gondolas are racing. Boats. We are crossing the bridge. There are still gondolas here. Tourists are having fun. The restaurants are packed. And we are moving on over here. Just like in India, I swear. I just want to turn on the camera and not turn it off. But I understand that it can't be like that. But you can't just turn it on and shoot in one continuous shot. You need a montage. Everything should be dynamic. But there should also be such shots, so that you feel as if you were here in my place. And here is indeed a truly remarkable example of a hotel that cannot be reached on foot from our apartment. So you can only get there by swimming in a taxi. They are unloading a suitcase. He turned away and is now standing there picking something. This is a Zara store. What other stores are here?
Are there mangoes available? The stores are not all in one tall shopping center. They are scattered throughout the city. It's very interesting.
I simply convey information to people so they understand that here you can not only stroll but also shop. We are at the location, ladies and gentlemen, St. Mark's Square. This is the heart of Venice, the most important place. Incredible. These are palaces, columns. Everything is so exquisite, and you soak in the time, feeling as if you are transported back to the past.
St. Mark's Square is the main city square in Venice. If the question arises about what to visit in Venice, this square will definitely be on the must-visit list. It begins with two majestic columns which stand the statues of the Apostle Mark and the winged lion. This square is home to the best attractions of Venice. Of course, this is St. Mark's Cathedral. It is very difficult to briefly describe the cathedral. It has a rich and unusual history, but just look at how beautiful it is. They had never seen such architecture and so much attention to detail. But the main pride of the cathedral is that it houses the relics of St. Mark, brought by the Crusaders in the 10th century. Nearby is the Doge's Palace, the former residence of the Doges in the Venetian Republic. It was built, reconstructed and decorated for over 100 years. After all, this is where the rulers of Venice lived, so this palace must demonstrate the wealth and grandeur of the Venetians in every way. It now houses a museum, and this is the majestic Cara Art Museum. You can appreciate the collection of paintings inside. This huge structure in the middle of the square is the bell tower of St. Mark's Cathedral. The pyramid-shaped spire has a weather vane in the form of a golden angel on top. Previously, the bell tower served as a lighthouse for numerous ships arriving at the shores of Venice. It was built in the 16th century. In the early days of its existence, the interior room served as a torture chamber. The tower has 5 bells, each with its own purpose, and visitors can climb up to it. And this is the beautiful clock tower of St. Mark. The tower is built in such a way that all travelers arriving in the city by sea can see its astronomical dial. At the top of the tower is adorned with the symbol of Venice, which is the figure of a winged lion.
Thank you, Alizonichik, for the information. There is also the oldest coffee house from 1720 here. They have their own orchestra. We can sit outside, but we decided to settle here. Cappuccino. Eliza ordered tea for herself. The ice cream balls are at the bottom, topped with strawberries and cream. The cafe is called Florian, and everything inside is so luxurious. Gold, jewelry, and other valuables. It's scary to touch anything. You really look at all of this and feel the scent of Venetian luxury and the past. On this sign it says who is playing for us, what orchestra it is. It also states that you owe €6 if you sit at a table for a person. So even if we didn't eat anything, you have already given €12.
The difference is that you are sitting at a table while the orchestra is playing.
How wonderfully the orchestra plays. I want to sit and not get up, at least half an hour, just to relax.
The tea is very hot, scalding. And they brought this pot holder. Oh my god, you took off the pot holder. I wanted to take it home.
I couldn't help but take one more of these with peach. Oh yes. And where are you going? That's for Dad Vitya. Haha. Happy little face. In short, if you are in Venice and don't do this.
But haven't you been to Venice?
I completely agree. In the end, coffee, tea, 2 ice creams, and 2 orchestras. 2 orchestras. The total came to €76.
After such a dessert, it's the perfect time to climb the bell tower of St. Mark's Cathedral.
The ticket costs €10 per person, each and every one.
And through St. Petersburg, 12.
Exactly. That means we saved an additional €2. We crawl closer. Here you can feel like a drone hovering over the city. Well, or like a bird. This is one of those cases where you don't regret spending 10 euros at all. Just look at the views. From here, you can see the entire city, and it is from this height that all the scales of the city are visible. The architectural ensembles are also felt here. Oh, how beautifully it has all come together, indeed. A separate pleasure in this city is to truly walk around and admire the shop windows. Especially when the city is sinking into night, darkening, the shop windows are lit and every item seems to jump into your bag. But unfortunately, there isn't enough money for everything, even though you really want to buy it all. The most attention is drawn to the beautiful windows displaying Murano glass products. There is the island of Murano nearby, which is why it's called Murano glass. But we decided not to spend time on it. What do you think of this appetizing display? I look at this and I really want to eat. It's crazy. Our fast European life, the sunset is already in the city.
But it's so cool here. We stocked up and just got ourselves some treats.
Now this is what I call an entrance. You just press this, ring the bell, but we don't need that. Tigers are here. And when we go in, a gigantic hall. Come in, Eliza. It's quite a setup. Yes, it's absolutely amazing. Like a palace of some very important person. In moments like these, you realize that it was worth renting this apartment. Even if it costs a fortune, at least there will be memories to cherish later. We have cheese, a parachute, and the rolls we took. This one here is a brie cheese with mold. To make your dreams come true, the parachute flies in. Such a delicate cheese, as if it has just been prepared and just... I can go crazy over the creamy. This picnic cost us 50 euros and it's much more budget friendly than eating in a restaurant.
It's time to head to the nearby islands because Venice is not limited to just the center. There are many islands around and now we are going to Lido Island. For this, we arrive at the stop we need and buy tickets. At this stop, there are no special booths where you can purchase tickets. Here, there is a QR code. Everything is scanned and bought electronically. You can buy a pass for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, or 7 days.
Since the city is on water, there are many canals. Here are the routes: E41, E42, E51, E52. Take a look. You can find everything on Google, you can see where you need to go, and then you wait here for your turn for your route. Our route number is 5.2. That's it. Let's jump in. Everything happens so quickly. You can stand on the upper deck, or you can come down here and sit if there are free seats. It is quite noisy here, and as we mentioned before, it really feels like you can call it a bus. It's like being on a bus, but on water.
Water, not asphalt.
Yes, asphalt and roads. It's water. These floating cabins are stops. There are quite a few of them along the route. You walk along, stop, people get on, get off, and then you continue on. This goes on for several stops until you reach your final station where you get off. The island is called Lido. And notice, there is transport here. Bikes, buses, cars. I have already forgotten what they look like. A completely different life. All of this is also located in the Venetian lagoon. But in central Venice, there is no transportation except for boats. Here, you can even ride bicycles and explore the island and enjoy the scenic views. Or you can also get around by public buses.
From this port, central Venice is perfectly visible. Everything fits like in the palm of your hand, including St. Mark's Square and the towering bell tower.
And we didn't come here just for no reason. Indeed, we want to see what the local beaches are like. How these bicycles stand out after the center, because I haven't seen them for just 2 days and I've already missed them. Civilization, bicycles, cars, a cool mode of transport, a two-seater, you sit down, pedal here, pedal there together. There is one main handlebar, the other is just for holding on, and here is the map. Here is a map of this island. It's a great idea for a business. You can check the prices. There are different types of bicycles, single and double. Here is a unique carriage. Look, for 3 hours it costs 26 euros, and for the whole day it costs 35 euros. You walk 700 meters, and here you realize that you have completely forgotten about Venice, because there was water everywhere there. But here there are cars, and it generally feels like you are strolling through a standard European city. Everything is very clean. but everything is deteriorating. It smells delicious on the streets, with flowers and even bicycles. Look how beautifully they are parked. There are also bright flowers and quite a few tidy cafes. However, if you compare it to the central part of Venice, you could say that there are almost no people. You can walk the streets almost alone. We have arrived. Here is the main entrance to the beach. There are a huge number of sun loungers here. Naturally, all of them are paid. Here is the price. On the screen to lie here, sunbathe and relax on the loungers. And as you understand, despite the price, many sun loungers are occupied because Europeans relax in style. We step out onto the beach and a powerful wind is blowing. It's intense. We won't be swimming. We'll wait until we return to Turkey and swim there. Those guys over there have some covers. You can rent them from them. I didn't check the price, but it will definitely be much more budget-friendly than renting loungers with umbrellas. Well, let's touch the water. It's warm. It's just that because the wind is blowing, I don't feel like swimming. Not everyone rushes in. It costs 20 euros to buy such a cover. It's not a rental. I attend one like that. Reduced price. Let's agree on a cheaper deal.
Notice how long the coastline is, 12 kilometers. And it is divided into such zones, divided by breakwaters, just like in Sochi. And the prices are the same.
What a joke. Give me a high five. Although it's not really a joke. After all, when you're vacationing in Sochi, they say, guys, here in Sochi it's as valuable as in Europe. And it's true. Well, these beaches of yours, welcome to Asteria Hera Ora. Let's start with an Aperol Spritz. It's windy over there, but it's nice here.
What a little orange. So,
we are choosing a place with a good rating, guys. This one has 4.6. It's just a Tokyo rating. Very good. Let's check what they will prepare here and take a look at the price now. And a spritz in the middle of the day? That's the only way to start the day in Europe.
A spritz is a cocktail that was invented in Venice. Can you imagine? It's a sweet drink with a light fruity flavor where notes of orange are combined with herbs and the fruits of the cinchona tree. What do you think of that? It is prepared with white wine, Aperol or Campari liqueur and soda water. What a cool way to serve bread. In Italy, it is generally served like this. They brought such small plates. Olive oil. It is just poured in here. You can also add a drop of balsamic sauce. Just like that. Next, we take a piece of bread and dip it right here. A wonderful aperitif before the meal.
This is the favorite drink of Italians in the heat. And where are we now? In Italy. What is it now? Heat.
Are you perhaps Italian?
Yes, I am actually Italian. I have Italian roots. I just kept this from you all these years. 24 euros. By the way, it's much cheaper here on this island than in central Venice. The seafood is a mix. There are shrimp, squid, and octopus. You can just grab it like this with your hand. Check out the system they have here. If you sat at the table, you have already paid 6 euros for two. Next, our two main dishes cost 48 euros together, and the Aperol Spritz is 10 euros for two, which means one costs 5 euros.
We return to Corton and are now heading to the next island. It is called Burano.
We will head there on this large boat by Venice standards. It has 2 decks. And as you can see, many people are loading their bicycles right on board. No matter how you look at it, the city transport system here functions like clockwork. Everything is fine-tuned to the second, fast and precise. So if you're on bikes, you can easily organize a bike tour here. Meanwhile, we're heading up to the upper deck. Wow, there's so much space. It's really amazing. This ship is like a racket. It makes a lot of noise, but on the other hand, the atmosphere is amazing, as if you are on some kind of water excursion. It's really great and not expensive at all. Once you buy the card, that is it, and you can ride endlessly all day across all these islands. Awesome. By the way, our ship is actually called Torcella. The name indeed suits it perfectly. It turns out there are also transfers here. We arrived at one place, the boat doesn't go any further, now there will be transfers, and then we will go to Burano Island. When you join this movement, you may feel confused, but everyone gives hints and talks. There we approached and looked. The little boat to Burano is coming in. We stood here waiting for our boat. The little ship is approaching the island of Burano. It's a docking like this. Boom, boom. Everything is secured on the go. Everyone quickly crawls out. We jump in and off we go. What a wide water bus. Let's go right here. That one. Beauty. You see that crooked tower and the lovely little colorful houses. This is exactly why we are making our way here, to this island. Welcome to the island of Burano. I thought that nothing would surprise me after central Venice, but it is even more beautiful here. Incredible, right? Yes, it's very cozy. It feels like some kind of toy town built specifically for tourists to stroll around for fun. But in reality, these are all residential buildings where people live, and it looks really cool. It's incredibly atmospheric.
Such a small island, can you imagine there are always crowds of people walking by the window?
Yes, I am falling in love with Italy even more than with you, can you imagine? Are you jealous? Well, of course, it's not just these colorful houses and the walks. There are some incredible little shops integrated like this. Look, these window frames are made in a turquoise color. Of course, you can come in and take a look. There are many interesting things for sale. So I understand that you have already bought something for yourself, right?
For €6. You can also purchase Murano glass products here at a reasonable price. And other items.
Words are simply not enough to convey all of this to you. The light is so beautiful, the sun is setting, and during the sunset, all the colors seem to mix with the orange hue of the setting sun. In this concept, this little street, this island, this city looks just fantastic and fairy tale-like, as if it were all some kind of fairy tale. Check out how the intersection is designed here. Moreover, the intersection is not only for boats and water transport, but also for people. So it turns out that the water flows away from here, the water goes further over there, and above, there is a pedestrian crossing on the second level. There are pedestrian bridges. You can look over here and enjoy the view. You can turn this way and look towards the bay. Again, you can see all these colorful houses and continue your walk in that direction. There are several legends about the origin of these colorful houses.
The first legend tells that the houses served as a landmark for fishermen who were returning home in the fog. This way, it was easier for them to find their native shelter.
The second legend is similar to the first, but it is about alcoholics. In other words, the concept is the same. To find his home, for an alcoholic, it is certainly much easier. If his house is painted a special color that hopefully he remembers. This way, it is easier to get back home.
The third legend is more cultural. You know, noble families use coats of arms as logos, while the Burano guys were simpler and chose a color shade of the house for each family.
Which of these versions seems more plausible to you, in your opinion? Write in the comments. It will be interesting to read about who we have more of among the entire audience. If I were to decorate my house, I would choose a bright color like this.
And here is the very bell tower, but now up close. It feels like it might fall at any moment. It is located in the square, the only square in the city. And it is named after the musician Galuppi, who lived in the 18th century and was popular not only in Italy, but also in Russia during the time of Catherine the Great. And here in the square, there is a monument to the composer. In fact, here it is.
In addition to the leaning tower and colorful houses, the island of Burano is famous for its lace, as lace production began here in the 16th century. Did you know this information? Would you like me to buy you some lace? But to help you understand, right now it's such a time that Chinese lace and the lace from this island are hard to distinguish. So guys, if you need real lace, you can get it here. In general, Chinese trinkets can deceive you, but nowadays people enjoy being deceived and buy Chinese trinkets.
There's a huge selection of lace products. These include table napkins, tablecloths, and even Christmas ornaments, dresses, clothing, hats, flip-flops.
This is indeed the perfect city where ice cream fits perfectly.
2 scoops, approximately €4.50.
Oh yeah, Eliza. I didn't find out how people live, but I can show you. Come on, Hurry into the alley. Quick, quick, quick. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Guys, look.
No, my place is here. I wouldn't do that. Here is a courtyard for you. I hope no one will kick us out. I mean, how do people live? We just left the main street. Here are the houses, the laundry is drying. Just so you understand, these are all functioning homes. People live here. They are tired.
These tourists take it and stick the cone in, you understand?
That's how we do it. If I had seen who did this, I would personally stick that cone up their backside.
And now it's time for riddles. Do you see the curtain? 1. Do you see the curtain? 2. Behind these curtains are doors. Over there is a small door in curtain 3. And this is the case for many houses. Question. What exactly is this and why are they doing it? Write in the comments below. It says here, please take absolutely whatever photos you want, but do not step on these beautiful bright walls like that. They are so pretty.
Dad, please don't touch it.
How?
Little boy, look, it even says please do not touch, just...
Oh, don't touch them, they are tied up. I am a little boy.
Just touch everything, shown and hung up crooked. Who noticed that he does it this way? He takes an item, touches it, removes it, throws it, and leaves.
And so, it's a fairy tale ending and we need to rush back to central Venice where we will continue our story. But we still need to talk about the most important thing. The one that is most vividly associated with Venice, and that is, of course, Aperol. However, Aperol is also considered something that is very strongly associated with Venice, but no. And Eliza is also seen in an Aperol outfit. We will now tell you about the gondolas, because here they are standing. Let's finish our aperitif. In the meantime, here's a life hack. Remember, this hotel is called H10. And you can come here even without staying at this hotel, just like that in the middle of the day. This is a beautiful observation deck. You can come up here absolutely for free and enjoy the view. The pigeons are walking around. There is no one here. Everyone comes in the evening. There is the bridge we have walked across. But of course, out of decency, they took something. And just enjoy this wonderful atmosphere.
By the way, right behind the Rialto Bridge there is a completely free observation terrace, just there. But keep in mind that you need to book it 1 month in advance of your visit. The name is currently visible in the corner.
The baby wants to eat. Here, have something to eat. In this city there are probably the most fearless pigeons. I have never seen such fearless pigeons anywhere else. You can almost take a close-up of their eye and see the pupil. The Aperol Spritz man ordered a delicious pizza, but it wasn't enough for him, so he added prosciutto on top like a blanket. Hello? Are you a pigeon that has gorged itself? Or are you a seagull, a dangerous bird? I look it in the eyes and I can just feel it. It's about to pressure us and take all our pizza. The Grand Canal is the main artery of the city. From this balcony, you can perfectly see how busy the traffic is here. However, despite this, there are no traffic jams like in regular cities.
So, gondolas. There are always exactly 425 of them in Venice. No, more and no less. This is the decree of the Gondoliers Association. This job is not easy, but it is very profitable. Therefore, a gondolier's license costs a fortune. Moreover, licenses are passed down from father to son. The first woman among the Venetian gondoliers appeared only in 2009. Before this, the profession was purely male-dominated. All Venetian gondolas are built according to the same principle. 11 meters in length and 140 centimeters in width. This oar is approximately 4 meters long. The gondola itself accommodates 6 passengers and the gondolier. The cost of each gondola starts at approximately $25,000 and depends on the decor. They are all decorated differently, but they are all incredibly beautiful. And by the way, they all must be black.
The long-awaited moment, we saved it for last so that all the most interesting things wouldn't happen at once. I hope we make it. Here it is, the gondola. So, let's sit right here. I'll sit right here. We'll glide right under the sunset. Our gondolier is so handsome and well-dressed. His name is Andrea. Eliza has already mentioned that many boats are passed down through inheritance. Not only can you buy them, but you can also inherit them. And there you see the name Andrea. This is his father's boat, and his father wrote his name here. We chose the sunset rays because it's best to ride either early in the morning when the sun doesn't overexpose or scorch everything, or at sunset. Walking and strolling along the bridges by the canals and watching the gondolas. Happy people sitting in those gondolas and enjoying as they float past you or right under the bridges. This is all very nice, it's all interesting and fun, but when you are sitting alone in a gondola and watching people take pictures of you guys, that's a completely different experience and emotions. So if you are in Venice, be sure to definitely try both. Otherwise, you absolutely won't have the comprehensive picture of Venice. You will only see one part of it, and already when you have been both above and below, you can proudly say when you return home, I was in Venice. In front of you is a large house. Here in Venice, such houses are entirely called palazzo. And notice this particular palazzo has such a large door, and it opens right here onto the canal. This has been done since ancient times as life was bustling here. Merchants would come here, and to make it convenient for them to unload goods directly into their homes, the doors were designed this way. The boat would dock, unload everything, and then calmly move on. A large door around the doors, a typical view of the northern door. He is also telling a lot of things in parallel. For every place we pass by, he talks about each of these places. This sign indicates that only gondolas can move along this canal.
Guys, it's just an unforgettable emotion, so beautiful. In Venice, you definitely have to see it from the water. Riding like this on a gondola, on some old one. I wonder how old it is, and you can't skimp on this. Be sure to set aside this money and spend it with pleasure and enjoyment. Experience hedonism.
The route is small, quite short, and now we have already emerged from the narrow canals. Here it is, the largest and most grandiose. We have already shown it from different rooftop restaurants. You saw all of this from the drone, and now we are here in person with my Aperol.
You can even touch the water.
And how is it? Warm? Don't forget to wash your hands afterwards. By the way, many people say, guys, doesn't it smell here? It doesn't smell like anything. Where did you get that? When we were filming, everyone writes in the card, guys, it doesn't stink there, it doesn't smell bad, it smells great and has wonderful aromas, no foul odors, a wonderful paradise town. We recommend it to everyone. Well, these guys are making money. We got out, others got in, and can you imagine he drove us around for about 20 minutes, right? Well, 30. 230, and now just multiply the whole day. Each trip is 80 euros. But again, we will provide the information that a gondola is very expensive and is passed down through generations. This is not the end yet. The release continues, but I decided to make the ending unusual. First of all, you are already charging a powerful like under these beautiful shots of the city, writing comments about how much you enjoyed the episode, because I worked very hard to edit it so that you would feel as if you had been there. And at the end of the episode, I decided to leave some footage that was filmed at the beginning, but for some reason I didn't include it. And for the most resilient ones who watched until the end, here are these beautiful shots with humor that not everyone will appreciate, but this humor is worthy of the most steadfast viewers. First of all, of course, we went to one of the canals. The beauty is indescribable. And we want to see exactly how much the total amount of money that we will spend on lunch will cost here. In general, it should have been with us already, but we just had breakfast and now it's turning into lunch.
We looked at the prices and this is the first and last meal.
Yes, and from now on we will just cook at home, right?
And this is simply to forget the price.
We started away with half a liter of white wine. This is generally to be in Abkhazia, not in Italy. The only thing is that the prices here are not like in Abkhazia. You see, look, 0.5 ends here, but they brought us this way. The portion here is substantial. You have octopus, a salad, and 2 types. This portion costs 21 euros. And check out the shrimp. The shrimp are whole. Wow, it's in sauce. The main thing is not to get messy. Very delicious. Homemade pasta.
All the Italians are just absolutely flipping out right now when you put spaghetti over the pasta.
In total, it came to 55 euros. The place is called Paradiso Perduto, which probably translates to Paradise Fart. How do you feel after 1.2 liters of wine?
Shit. It's no longer wine, but Italian, guys. You just drink a glass and you're gone. You're already swimming in the canal, in this beautiful green canal. Venice, my dream, will cut you off. Ha ha ha. We'll cut you off.